Well, hello there. It's your favourite fresh air junkie, Nikki Hardy, and welcome to the Wildly Known Life podcast. A podcast for those of us who feel closest to God in nature and want to get outside to hang out with Him there so we can reconnect with who we're created to be, calm the heck down, and finally feel alive again. I'm an author, retreat leader, and pilgrimage guide who weaves story, scripture, and science into simple, biblically based practices you can carry into the woods, your morning routine, or a regular Tuesday afternoon. Because the goal isn't to escape life, it's to live the one we have more fully alive in God. Let's dive in, my friend. Let's get wild. The daughter of some dear friends of ours got married a week or so ago in a wonderful blend of her rich Judeo-Christian traditions with the colour and symbolism of her now husband's Hindu upbringing. And Al, my hubby, got to co-officiate with the Hindu priest, which was so fun. The bride is a marine biologist saving our coastlines from the erosion caused by climate change, and the groom is a NASA scientist and part of the team that took Artemis II to the dark side of the moon last month. Talk about a power couple. That same weekend saw us Brits, but it also seemed the rest of the world, celebrating the 100th birthday of Sir David Attenborough, the face and voice of our planet. For decades, we've been transfixed by the images of the natural world he's brought into our living rooms. In much the same way, the words and images the Artemis II team sent back to us have moved us all so deeply. What is it about these events, Artemis II, Sir David's birthday, and the images and stories they hold, that have moved us all so deeply? According to recent studies, Americans spend 87% of their time indoors and another 6% on top of that in cars. And each month we spend 109% more time on our phones than walking outside. No wonder we feel distracted, mentally scattered and slightly numb. There's a low-grade dissatisfaction building within us as we continue to be overstimulated but underawed. Endlessly consuming, but rarely astonished. It's not surprising life feels kind of beige. As Timothy Willard, in a recent post where I learned those statistics, said, when we stay inside, we mute the skies. On the one hand, Artemis took us into space and helped us glimpse the wonder of our moon and planet in the vastness of our solar system. While all the clips of Sir David Attenborough's career and birthday celebrations showed us a man who has spent over 70 years helping us notice beauty, intelligence, fragility, and the wonder already under our feet. For a brief moment, as Artemis II circled the moon, and we were reminded of the vast beauty of the planet by Sir David, we took the skies and God's creation off mute and let them speak. And it struck me, the power of these moments is that Artemis reminded us that awe and wonder is out there, while Sir David reminds us that they are right here in front of us. And we just need to take a brief look at Scripture to know awe and wonder have always been speaking. In an age where we have access to everything, we are amazed by almost nothing. When I feel off, as if something's missing, like my life is kind of bland, beige, I assume I need to fix something, change something, anything, everything, start over. But that's rarely, if ever, true. The scientific study of awe and wonder is relatively new compared to other fields, but research suggests that awe and wonder can lower our stress levels, calm our nervous systems, reduce the rumination and worry that we constantly have in our brains. It can make us feel less time-starved, increase generosity, help us feel connected to one another and what's around us. It can improve mood and perspective. To quote an article I read in a deep dive about the neuroscience of awe and wonder, which I'll link to in the show notes for you, when we experience awe and wonder, several key areas in the brain light up. The prefrontal cortex, which controls executive function, becomes highly active. Executive function controls our ability to plan, focus, and make decisions, to name a few important processes. This part of the brain helps us process the significance of what we're witnessing and integrate it into our understanding of the world. It goes on to note that moments of awe and wonder trigger the anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC, which plays a role in emotional regulation and cognitive function. During moments of awe, the ACC helps modulate our emotional response, fostering a sense of calm and wonder. In other words, God wired us so that when we encounter something vast, beautiful, or deeply moving, our problems might not disappear, but our brains stop them sucking all the air out of the room. They can no longer be the loudest voice or the emotionally needy friend who tags along uninvited. Our brains boss them, dwarfing and silencing by telling them something far higher, wider, deeper, and longer is present. We might feel small, but we're gifted a connection to something that reassures us we are part of something bigger. Throughout history, God has used his creation to get our attention, and it seems he sometimes speaks loudest through things that don't even use words. So if you're feeling numb or like life is a constant shade of beige, despite all the good things you can point to, or maybe you're simply aware you're spending too much time on your phone or inside and you want to put yourself in the way of some awe and wonder, I have a couple of simple, doable practices for you. You don't need to fly to the moon, immerse yourself in the shoes of David Attenborough, or stand on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Because as our bride and groom, with the help from the Artemis team and one Brit's lifelong love and curiosity for his planet taught us, we can be sure that yes, awe and wonder are out there, but they're also right here, no matter where we live. And God has wired us to reap its benefits in our health, well-being, and spiritual walk with him. So, we're going to end, as we always do, with a simple, embodied, repeatable practice, prayer, or invitation to take into your day. And this week, it's an invitation to wander in wonder right where you are, looking up and out like the Artemis astronauts, then down and close like Sir David Attenborough modelled. You don't need to get on a plane or even wait until the sun comes out. But given those sobering statistics, I do want to invite you to step outside. We're going to enter this time, as we always do, with this centering prayer. And so, as we take time to be with God now, let's rest a moment in stillness, returning our wandering minds to his presence and responding with openness. Firstly, as you wander outside, look up. You're not looking for anything in particular. You're simply resting there in stillness, noticing what you see and how you feel. The inky vastness of the night sky, the irregular shapes and waltzing movement of the clouds, maybe the silver crescent moonrise or the horizon beyond the skyscrapers or distant mountains. Breathe in and enjoy your smallness in the vastness of God. Pause a while. Now, look down and up close. Is there moss growing tenaciously in the sidewalk cracks? Is birdsong audible behind the droning cars? What's the texture of the bark of the tree you're leaning on? What shape are the spider's webs strung precariously between the bushes and the trees? Look for the details. Then look again, and pause a while. Awe and wonder often hide in what we're rushing past. Maybe ask yourself, have I stopped noticing? What takes my attention away from what takes my breath away? What beauty have I become too busy to notice? And what is waking up in me again? Where you've been longing to reinvent yourself or your life, how might God be inviting you to look closer? Thanks for spending time together on the Wildly Known Life podcast. The podcast is growing quietly thanks to you sharing it with your friends, for which I am super grateful. If you know of someone who would be interested in this, who loves the idea of science and awe and wonder, do share it with them. And of course, subscribing and leaving a short review not only helps spread the word, but ensures that future episodes land in your podcast feed. And the deeper conversation, as always, and the connections happen over at the Wildly Known Life on Substack, and you'll find the link for that in the show notes. And I look forward to seeing you there and getting to know you. Before you go, remember, sometimes the best thing we can do for ourselves is to step outside, take a deep breath, drop our shoulders, and ask what our wildly wonderful God has to say. Because that's where coming alive in our life and faith begins, and living wildly known follows. Okay, my wild friends, until next time, see you soon.